guys, it's Phil coming back at you with another video. Today, I'm back. I'm excited. I'm pumped up. Hopefully everyone's doing well, practicing self-care, not letting one thought, one situation, one person take them outside of what they know to be true, and then hoping everyone is still building themselves up and not letting one thought, one situation, or anything destroy where they think that they should go, because a lot of people that I've been talking to are doubting themselves, beating themselves up. They're not getting as many questions correct as they want to, and they're tearing themselves down. This video is going to be going over the free study group that I'm having this Saturday, 2/4 at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to go over the upcoming study groups that I have, as well as some thoughts that have been going through my mind. If you want the shortcut of how to sign up for the free study group, you can go to my website at fillinthegaps.as.me or click the link down below in the description. You can go to the calendar and then sign up. But if you want to hear about the paid study groups as well as the thoughts that I've been going through, then keep watching the rest of this video. The next paid study groups that I have that are coming up, and this is the easiest way for you to rep and rock with me and get as much as you possibly can. The next one coming up is 2/5 Ethics, going over the code of ethics, not just ways to memorize it, but being able to recognize and apply it and give you real life examples on how this could actually look inside of the exam, going over subpoena versus court order, and then going over practice questions related to those. The next one after that is 2/12 Human Developmental Theories, going over Erickson, PJ, Koberg, and then going through different ways to conceptualize those and going through different practice questions. And these sessions are not to memorize anything, but to allow for you to be able to recognize and apply it to go in the exam, kick it directly in the chest to get the job done. The next one after that is 219 Acronym and Practice Questions, going over the acronym: safety, feelings, assess, refer, educate, advocate, facilitate, and intervene. The 6-step process that I recommend every single person to keep in mind as they're going through the questions to go in the exam, kick it directly in the chest to get the job done. It'll go over the tips that I find most helpful for people to keep in mind. And it'll go through 10 practice questions. And I always say do not come into these sessions expecting to get every single question correct. And individuals that went to the 129 practice question session were beating themselves up and be like, man, why am I not getting these questions right? Or I'm not getting as many questions correct as I want to. But again, these questions are meant for you to go through a difficult situation outside of the exam, so that way when you go inside of the exam, it's not as difficult for you. The next one after that is 226 DSM-5 Adults, so going over the personality disorders, the schizophrenia spectrum, bipolar 1 versus bipolar 2 disorders. We'll go over the medications and different practice questions related to those. The next one after that is 3/5 Research, Program Development, and Program Evaluation, so going over the different types of research, going over different steps of program development, and then peeling it all back, and then how are we actually going to evaluate these things, and going through practice questions related to those. So these are the Sunday study groups from 7 p.m. Eastern Time until they kick us out. They can't kick us out. I'm the host. The sessions are typically 4.5, 5. The ethics session is probably going to be 5.5 to 6 hours long, because I want to make sure that you guys get as much as you possibly can out of these sessions, and they're paid sessions. And if you want any information related to those, send me an email at berda24@gmail.com or click the link down below in the description, which will have the view more under the title, and it'll send you to my calendar, as well as I still do offer individual tutoring. So if you want to rep and rock with me individually, you want to go through practice questions, you want to parse out through your process or go through different concepts or content areas, it's 100% possible. You can send me an email at berda24@gmail.com or click the link down below in the description, the view more under the title. If there is not a session prior to your exam date, send me an email at berda24@gmail.com and I'll add you to the tutoring waiting list just in case anybody cancels their sessions. As well as I'm doing the next one-day course on 2/11. It is a couple days after my birthday, so you can rep and rock with me and celebrate my birthday during that session. And the one-day course has been the most successful thing that I've ever done. Why? Because it's the most amount of time that you get with me. 2, it packs the most amount of information in one location. And 3, it's going to go through difficult practice questions to not have you memorize anything, not have you going with the shortcuts, not going with the buzzwords or all these wild things, but actually putting you through a difficult situation, so that way you don't go through a difficult situation as you are in the exam. So the one-day course is on 2/11 from 11 a.m. Eastern Time until they kick us out. And this session length, I'd say, is typically 12 hours long, but they've been 13, 14 hours long. And you do not have to attend the session all of the time, because the session is going to be recorded and you'll be able to review the materials as well as the recording at your own pace and leisure, just like during the Sunday study groups. And the one-day course is the tips that I find most helpful for people to keep in mind to get their mind right to go in the exam, kick it directly in the chest to get the job done. Most common reasons why people fail the exam: a mixture of topics, subpoena versus court order, operant conditioning, referral versus supervision. We'll go over the personality disorders, the schizophrenia spectrum, bipolar 1 versus bipolar 2 disorders. We'll go over the medications. We'll also be going over the 6-step process that I recommend every single person to keep in mind as they are going through every single question to go in the exam, kick it directly in the chest to get the job done. We'll also be going through the acronym: safety, feelings, assess, refer, educate, advocate, facilitate, and intervene, and then going through difficult practice questions. And as I stated before, do not come into this session expecting to get every single question correct, but come into the session trying to learn from every single question that you're going through and allow for yourself to get more information and different strategies and techniques that you do not already have to go in the exam, kick it directly in the chest to get the job done. And if you want any information related to that, send me an email at berda24@gmail.com or click the link down below in the description, which is the view more under the title. Or if your exam is prior to that date, it is 100% possible to be able to access the recorded version that I did last month, or I guess at the beginning of January, because this video is still being recorded within January. And if you want any information related to that, send me an email at berda24@gmail.com or click the link down below in the description. And for those that do not know, Audible's continuing to partner with me on my YouTube videos and my podcast. If you want to support me as well as support them, go to my Audible affiliate link at www.audibletrial.com/fill-in-the-gaps. Sign up for the 30-day free trial, and it'll allow for you to get a free book. And if you're like, Phil, what is Audible? Audible's an easy way to get information on the go. So if you're busy just like me or an auditory learner and want to get information through the way that you actually learn information, Audible's an easy way to be able to do that. And signing up for the 30-day free trial is an easy way to support me and cost you absolutely nothing. And if you go to the Audible affiliate link, www.audibletrial.com/fill-in-the-gaps, sign up for the 30-day free trial. There are a couple of books that I would recommend that you check out: The Alchemist, The Archer, UOU, and Outliers. Each of those books have helped impact who I am and helped me bring information and knowledge to you. So it's not just helping you progress professionally, but personally become the best possible version of yourself. So if you want to rep and rock with me and support me in a way that costs you absolutely nothing, go to my Audible affiliate link at www.audibletrial.com/fill-in-the-gaps. Sign up for the 30-day free trial. And if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up button down below next to the title, because it helps amazing social workers just like you find my videos as well. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button down below, hit the bell notification next to it, because it'll send you an email every single time that I upload a video, so you'll never miss any of the things that I do. So ring the little bell next to it, and it's the easiest way to rep and rock with me. And if you haven't already, hit it. So type a comment down below, something that you're going through, something positive, because I look at every single comment and I'll try my best to reply to anything that you guys bring to the forefront, because I want to make sure that the Fill in the Gaps communities get as much as they possibly can to become the best possible versions of themselves. And if you haven't already, check out my podcast at Fill in the Gaps on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher or Spotify, because there are also amazing resources on my podcast as well. And as I always say, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate every single one of you guys. And again, the free study group is going to be this Saturday, 2/4 at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you want to sign up or you don't know how to sign up, go to the link fillinthegaps.as.me or click the link down below, which is going to be the view more under the title. Have the link that says free study group. And when you go to that website, it's going to put you to my calendar. And I'm about to walk you through the step-by-step process of how to actually register for the sessions if you've never ever registered for one of my sessions before. But again, the website is fillinthegaps.as.me or click the link down below in the description, because when you click it, it's going to send you to my calendar. So once you go to fillinthegaps.as.me, it'll take you to my calendar. This is the calendar that has all my sessions on it: tutoring, free study group, one-day course, and then Sunday study group. So in this, if you go into the free study group, you want to hit book. You'll select your time zone, whatever time zone that you are in, so that way your reminder email is going to send you the correct time, and hit set time zone, because a lot of times this is going to confuse people of like, man, I got to this page and now it's not actually moving. You're going to go to the 4th, because that's when it is, February 4th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. You will hit continue or add time, whichever one you want to do. You'll enter your information. And for those that do not know, my name is Phil Luttrell, and I hope people pass the exam the best that they know how. My email is berda24@gmail.com. But before you hit complete appointment, make sure your email address is correct, because you don't want to sign up for this session and then not get the reminder emails. There will be 48-hour, 24-hour, and 1-hour reminder emails. But if your email is not entered correctly, you're not going to be able to attend the session unless you keep the email confirmation, or on the next page, copy the link. So again, making sure your information is correct, hit complete, appointment, and then this is going to be the confirmation page. You want to add it to a calendar, you 100% can. However, if you want to make sure that you have the link 100%, you want to click that, and then you can copy and paste the link to wherever you want it to go. If you're like, Phil, what is the meeting ID? The meeting ID is going to be right down here, but that is the process. You go to the calendar, you'll hit free study group, hit book, go to the 4th at 3 p.m. Eastern time, and then hit continue, enter your information, and make sure that your information is correct, hit complete appointment, and then you'll be all ready to go and geared up for this Saturday's free study group. And again, the free study group is going to be for people that are struggling to pass their exams or looking for advice on how to structure their exam process. It's going to be different than the Sunday study groups that I do, because the Sunday study groups are going to be going over content and practice questions. We'll be going through practice questions a little bit on the free study group, but it's primarily going to be people coming back to share their experiences that have winning the exam, kicked it directly in the chest to get the job done, and people that are feeling unmotivated or you want to process about your experience. That is what that session is going to be used for. So again, making sure that you don't have the expectation of it being all practice questions or being like the Sunday study groups, because the Sunday study groups have a different format and we'll be going over different things. So those are the instructions on how to attend their free study group, as well as what the free study group is going to be about. Like I said, the free study group is going to be going over people's experiences of how they went in the exam to kick it directly in the chest to get the job done. If you're struggling to pass the exam, or you're feeling unconfident on your ability to go in the exam, or you're not really sure where to turn, then come to this free study group. I'm going to try to give you guys as much information and as much strategies and techniques as I possibly can. And like I said, it's different than the paid study groups on Sundays. The study groups are going to be going over content as well as practice questions. But if you're interested in the free study group, I don't want anyone to have different expectations or be let down based on what we're going to be going over. So that is how you register for the free study group. I hope you see everybody there, and hope to get as much information out as we possibly can about the exam to give you guys more information, give you guys a different lens on how to go in the exam, kick it directly in the chest to get the job done. For those that are rocking with me heavy, some thoughts that have been going through my mind, because a lot of times people are like, man, I don't know what to do, or man, I'm not where I want to be, or I'm feeling unmotivated, or I don't have a lot of structure, or I don't even know if I can pass this exam. My biggest piece of advice is you have to truly understand what lens that you're viewing situations through, because your view and your perspectives are oftentimes going to lead to the results that you're going to get. So if you don't think that you're going to be able to pass this exam, or if you think that you should already be past this exam, or if you think you already have enough information and you're like, all right, I'm good, and then you go in the exam and you're not able to apply the information, you're uncomfortable applying the information, you're using shortcuts, you're using buzzwords, you're doing all of these things that people told you to do, and it's not working. You have to really identify what is not working about the process. Because again, I'm going to be honest with you. It's all the time, it's not the person that's taking the exam. I'm going to be honest with you, because I work with a bunch of people that are like, man, Phil, am I the problem? Or man, am I ever going to be able to do this? Or I don't even know if it's possible for me. And it's like, what are you talking about? Because information changes situations, and different perspectives are going to get you into a lens of, or in a view that you didn't have before. And a lot of times programs are going to tell you, man, first, next, best, most, or go with the shortcuts. But a shortcut, all it's going to do is cut you short and not lead you into the mode that you need to be in. So reminding yourself that if what you are doing is not working, it's likely not just you. It's the strategies, techniques, and the processes that you are using that are leading you to get results that you don't want. And that's why a lot of times when people are coming to my groups and all these things, they're like, man, Phil, I'm not getting as many questions correct as I want to. And I always tell them, don't focus on how many you're getting right and how many you're getting wrong, but how are you getting these wrong? Are you adding? Are you just reading the last sentence? Are you looking at first, next, best, most? Are you looking for answer choices that you want to see, like feelings, gather information, CPS, APS, all these different things? Because if you're looking for those things, guess what? The exam is going to bring it to your front door like you ordered it. Why? Because they are knowing what you were looking for. But if you're not actually digesting the question or tearing the question apart, all you're doing is going to be tearing yourself apart and making sure that you have a lens in which you are viewing it objectively. Don't get into your feelings of subjectivity of like, man, well, this isn't right because of the exam is going to be as black and white, but as gray as we possibly can. And what I mean by that is a lot of people may be black and white thinking of it's like, it must be this way all the time, or it must be this way all the time. Well, that's not how social work works. That's not how this exam works. You have to have flexibility and fluidity and being able to embrace some things that may not actually be as structural as you want them to be, but what is the most ethical thing and most efficacious thing that we possibly can do. So my push is trust your judgment. Trust what you know to be true. If something doesn't feel right, it's most likely not right. If you're second guessing and being like, well, they say I should change the answer. Man, I need to go with this answer because of this resource, or what people have told me I need to be studying all these things. But what do you actually feel that you need? Because you don't need everything that everyone else does. So you need to ensure that you're doing what you need in this situation, not what somebody else has told you that you need, not what somebody on Facebook's telling you, not what somebody in somewhere else is telling you to do, but actually boiling it down and saying, what do I actually need? And what are some blind spots that I have, or what are some areas that I don't feel comfortable with, but I'm running away from those areas, versus actually putting time and focus and actually applying those things. So making sure that regardless of what you're doing, that you're seeing some progress. And I'm not talking scores wise, because a lot of times people are like, man, my scores are going up on this app, or man, my scores are going up based on this practice exam. But if your strategies and techniques are not sound, or if your strategies and techniques are only consistent within that process, and then you go in the exam and it's like, it's like you're panicking because you've never seen something that difficult before, or you're not able to apply the shortcuts, the buzzwords, going with all these different strategies and techniques. You got to really pull yourself out of the fire and say, yeah, man, it made sense within that context. But if it's not efficacious throughout the totality, it does not have external validity. So you want to talk about the technical terms. Internal validity is where you're inside the situation. It works when your external validity is there. When you're outside of the controlled environment or situation that you've done, it's going to work as well. And that's what's happening to a lot of people, is they're going in the exam and not getting the results that they thought that they would, because they're like, man, I passed this practice exam, or I did this, or I did that, and all these things, or man, I memorized that book, or I memorized this, or I did all these shortcuts and all these different strategies and techniques. But you really have to boil it down and say, you're the only one that can pass this exam for you. You're the only one that can go in this exam and get the job done. You're the only one that at the end of the day, if you don't believe that you can get this done, most likely you're not going to get it done, or you're going to be surprised and doubt yourself throughout the totality of the process. So my recommendation, if you failed this exam before, or if you're not getting the scores that you want to on the practice exams or all these different things, keep the same energy. Keep the same energy whether you feel like it's working or not. And what I mean by that is, a lot of times what happens to people is when they're in situations and things are going well, they're keeping their energy is high. They're flying off the chain like, woo, I can get this done. This is awesome. I'm getting everything that I wanted to. But the problem with that analysis is any little inconvenience or little thing that gets them off their path, they're like, oh my gosh, I can't do it. It's done. I'm out. This isn't going to happen for me. And it's like, how are you going to let one question, one practice exam or anything make you doubt yourself? Even if it's the real exam. Man, Phil, I failed the real exam before. Okay, so what are you going to do after that? What are you going to do now? Like, what are the next steps? Because a lot of times when people fail the exam, it's like, I don't know what to do. Well, boil it down, put it in a pot and see what worked, what didn't work, and then mobilize to the future, because it's not what happens to you. It's how you respond in the situation. And if you need the assistance or you need the additional resources, invest in yourself. Make sure that you're the number one priority in any situation that you're in, because at the end of the day, you're the only person that can look out for you in the way that you're going to look out for you. Because there are people that care about you. There are situations that you're in where other people are looking out after you and all these different things. But if you don't truly accept the assistance, or you don't find value within the assistance that you're getting, you need to identify, what are some things that I need to make changes in? And what are some things that I need to cut ties with the lives I've been living in? Or what are some different situations that I can get into? Because if you don't have different information, or you don't have all these different things, you're not going to get into the different situations or spaces and places that you deserve to be in. Because if you're trying to do something different, you got to upgrade, just like your phone. Like if you have a cell phone and it's not working right, you're not just about to toss it out the window and be like, I'm straight. No, you're going to try to identify. But if it's just an update, you're like, wow, it's going to be better off because there's additional changes that have been made. So if you're not where you want to be willing to take the shot and risk on yourself and make those changes that you know to be true. Because in order to have a different situation, you must change something at some capacity. Because a different result is going to come when you do different things. But it may not even be a different strategy and technique. It just may be you have to do it over and over and over and get the experience. Because in order to have experience, you must experience something at some capacity. But as social workers and as people, we oftentimes are going to play small and say, you know what? It didn't work out for me one time. I'm not willing to put my life on the line for that additional time. And it's like, but how do you know it won't work out the next time? How do you know it's not going to work out? You don't know unless you try. But a lot of times what happens to people is they feel like they have to be perfect on the first attempt, or they have to be perfect at everything that they do. And then you almost forget the fact that the only way to become permanent or competent in something is to be incompetent or have failures over and over and over and over, or have repetitions that may not have been the best, but they were the best that you could do at that time. So that's what I'm telling you. Give yourself credit, but make sure that you trust your judgment, because you're the only person that can judge whether what you're doing is correct or not. Unless you have somebody coming in and being like, hey, this is a little off, or man, you find out that you're reading the last sentence, or man, you're adding, you're rescuing, you're trying to have your cape on, or you're using this acronym and it's not working for you. But a lot of times what happens to people, when they hear that information, they get angry. Like, people ask me all the time, man, Phil, what do you think I should change? And it's like they're looking for me to say nothing should change. And when I suggest things that they should change based on objective data, they're almost like, well, you just want me to fail. You just don't even want me to do it. And it's like, were you asking me for feedback, or were you asking for me to confirm your situation? Because I'm not going to confirm or co-sign something that I know that is going to be detrimental and harmful to you. And you have to have people in your life that are willing to check you and say, yo, you know this isn't going to work for you, then why are you doing it? You got to have people in your life that care about you so much that they're like, this may hurt your feelings, but your feelings aren't the most important thing in this moment. It's how you execute. Because your feelings are going to take you to spaces and places that may be helpful, but only feelings are going to make sure that you're safe all the time. But when you execute and when you have faith, your faith has to be bigger than your fear. Because when you have faith, you don't know if it's going to work out. You don't know what's going to happen. But guess what? You know that at some capacity that it will work out. It may not be on the timeline that you want it to, but it will eventually. But if you give up today, if you give up and sit in the same position today, you'll never know. But you will know. And why you will know is because you'll know how the situation ends. And how it ends is you're taking control. Why? Because if you sit in the same position, you know the result that you're going to be. Well, I'm in the same spot, so I know where I'm at, but I'm ticked that I'm in the same spot, but you've been doing the same things expecting a different result. So you got to be willing to say, you know what? What resolve do I need? So don't shun things away. Don't push them away. Don't blow things out of proportion, but make sure that what you're doing is helping you lead you where you want to go. Honestly, that's my push. Make sure you keep the same energy. Things aren't going well for you, keep the same energy. Things are going well for you, keep the same energy. Because at the end of the day, energy costs, stop giving it away. But if you don't have the energy or you don't have the faith and your fear is louder than that and saying, Phil, I don't think I can do this. Man, Phil, you don't know what it's like to be in X, Y, and Z situation. You're right. I may not. But I do have experience in my own experience of things not going well and me not having control, but I have to have faith that things will work out. I can't take control of everything. I can't have predictability in everything. But what I will not do is sit in the same position and let something happen to me without me trying to give and buck back and do something on my own. And what I mean by that is you have to go through a situation not with 100% cockiness of like, all right, this is going to be easy. I can do this no matter what. No, it's I'm going to believe that at this moment I've been through what I've been through. That's going to give me enough experience to at least show up. Because if you don't show up, you might as well be like, all right, I'm out. I'm packing my bags. But if you show up, you're going to show yourself evidence and get experience that you did not have if you didn't show. But if you know better, you're going to have an idea of what you can do. So experience is the most valuable thing that you can have. Why? Because if you've been through something before, you know what to expect. You don't template it, but you have more comfortability. And when you have comfortability and confidence, you have competence for the totality of your days, whether you actually believe that you can do it or not. Your body and your mind will react because it's muscle memory. You'll get to those positions and spaces and places you never thought that you would, but if you never show up or you never take that chance on yourself, you never go with that risk, you never have the opportunity to potentially fail or have scrutiny or criticism shown your way, you'll never know the result. And it's comfortable. But don't let comfort take over where you want to go. Don't let comfort be your number one goal. Because you want to be safe, but if you're comfortable wherever you're at all the time, you're going to become complacent and not want it the same way that you wanted it before. That's what I'm saying is if you're at that point of, Phil, I've taken this exam so many times, or, man, Phil, I'm scared to take this exam. What made you so afraid? What made you not believe that you're the person that can get in that exam and do the dang thing? At what point did you throw your hands up and say, I'm I'm here for defeat versus throwing my hands up ready to fight for my right to become the best possible version of myself. Track it down. Because if you don't really think that you're that sweet, regardless of what people are telling you how sweet and all the things around you, you'll never believe it. So that's what I'm telling you. At what point did you lose your energy? Because if you don't think that you can pass this exam, why'd you go to school? Why is the ASWB believing in you, or why is your school believing in you more than you believe in yourself? Why are the people around you believing in you more than you're believing in yourself? That's the problem, is you have to have more faith than the people around you. You have to have more want. You have to have more drive. You have to have more vision than the people around you, because you are the only person that is going to care about your result more than anyone else. So that's my push. Trust your own judgment. Ensure you're doing the things that you know that you need to do. And if you haven't been doing the things that you know that you need to do, today's the first day that you can start. Because this is the first day that you can change and become whoever you want to be, regardless of what's going on. And that may not be as fast as you want it to be, but today is the first day that you can think, and your thoughts become actions, and your actions will lead you into that next result. So you have to be willing to take that shot and take that chance, but keep the same energy. And your faith should be way bigger than the fear, and your faith should be so strong that even if people are doubting you, you're doubting yourself, you're beating yourself up, people are not believing where you want to go. They shouldn't be able to believe in your goal more than you believe in it, because it's yours. And you have to take ownership and own it and say, this is mine. And even if people don't feel it, and even if people don't want it as much as I want it, I have to celebrate every victory and every progress point that I've made, because if I do not, I will have regret, and it's way more difficult to have resentment and regret than it is to have pain. Because pain can subside, but regret and resentment will be there for the totality of your days, because you cannot go back and change something, but what you can do is build on whatever you've done today, because inaction is still inaction. So don't put yourself in that position that's like, you know what, I wish I would have. No more regrets today. Get where you want to go and do everything that you need to become the best possible version of yourself. And then life isn't easy. Not everything is always going to go well, but what you have to do is still believe that as long as you have a heartbeat in your chest, that you have a purpose and you have a reason to be doing the things that you're doing. You've been put in the spaces and places to get into the spaces and places that you need to be in order to get the experience to become whoever you're supposed to be for yourself, for your family, and for those that are going to come after you. So don't just think about this as an exam. Think about how you can examine your life to build a base in order to build on the rest of your career to become you and not anybody else. But staying true to whatever you say that you're going to do, and if you put your name on it, you best commit to it. You better be making that commitment and promise and saying, I will do the best that I can. It may not always be perfect. I may not always be successful, but what I will be is me, and I will continue going regardless if I get the results that I want, because it's not up to me, the result, but all I can do is focus on the process and the action steps that I put forth in that action. But I will not be able to look myself in the face and say, I didn't give everything that I got. And I hear all the time, man, Phil, I didn't give everything that I got. I could have done. Don't be in that position. Keep building yourself up. Keep doing the next right thing. Keep grinding and keep going, because you will get this done. You will become who you want to be. It may not be on your timeline, but as long as you stay in line and keep doing the things that you want to do, you'll get there. So hopefully that was helpful for somebody. Hopefully that if you're in that position, you're still believing in yourself. And if you don't have belief in yourself, no, at least one person believes in you. I think you can do it. I believe that you can get this done. I think that you can go in the exam, kick it directly in the chest, get the job done to become the best possible version of yourself. If you need anything from me, drop me a shout, send me an email at berda24@gmail.com. Hope to see you in the Sunday study groups. Hope to see you in individual tutoring. Hope to see you in the free study group this Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern time. And from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate every single one of you guys. Take care, be safe, keep building yourself up. Do not let one thought, one situation, one person take you outside of what you know to be true. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm getting the heck out of here, and peace out, guys.